Well, it seems there are quite a few new eyes on my channel as of late. I'm honestly astonished at the attention that my HasLab Omega Prime videos have received. It's more than I've ever experienced in such a short span of time. For everyone who's just shown up, welcome to the channel. Please do consider joining the Discord linked in the description and supporting my friends as well. I hope you like what you see and decide to stick around a while. Welcome to Kit Katastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Dirge. This figure was released in 2009 as part of Wave 7 of the Deluxe assortment. Dirge, released towards the tail end of the toy line under the Nest Global Alliance sub-branding, transforms into a fictional fighter aircraft that most closely resembles a Harrier, colored in a dark teal and not quite gold, not quite bronze, evoking the colors of his Generation 1 incarnation, though this particular deco additionally resembles the Blue Angels. The jet mode is quite sharp, almost looking more at home underwater than in the skies. If you flip the wings forward like so, you can sort of see the ghost of a mako shark, while the enlarged intakes conjure images of a whale shark's open mouth relentlessly sucking in oxygen instead of krill. The oceanic blue of his plastic is doing most of the work here, I admit, but there's no doubt that Dirge looks downright predatory here. The tail section is of particular note, as it is in a strange X shape instead of a typical Y or T shape. After speaking at length with my buddy Char about this, I have come to the conclusion that Dirge's tail is shaped the way it is, simply because he thinks it looks cool, and who am I to argue with that? Despite Dirge's small size, he's chock full of features we rarely see these days, even on larger toys. First off, he features an opening cockpit, whose frame is painted a brilliant silver, revealing a molded seat within, albeit alongside one of his hands. Dirge also features 3 pieces of deployable landing gear, 1 in the nose and 2 beneath the wings. Unfortunately, these don't roll, and this toy was made well before Hasbro began including display stand compatibility, but a claw arm will do in a pinch. Finally, for this mode, Dirge comes with 2 missile launchers seemingly disguised as fuel tanks. They each have a firing missile, which are just as strong as ever. Dirge has a fantastic flying alternate mode, one which I wish we had seen more mainstream uses of. Coincidentally or not, he seems to scale well with the other 2 Revenge of the Fallen coneheads, Ramjet and Thrust, the latter of which I don't have the pleasure of owning just yet, so let's make do with Breakaway. As a trio, this set of molds looks amazing together in their vivid colors and diverse body plans. It makes me wish we saw more instances of the Seekers having completely separate designs from each other. Dirge hails from the Revenge of the Fallen toy line and naturally comes with a complex transformation scheme. As complex as it may be, it isn't terribly challenging after the first go-through, while also being incredibly fresh and rewarding for a jetformer. The legs seem to take a bit of inspiration from Cybertron Sideways, while the torso and arms transform asymmetrically, featuring a 90-degree swivel that unfortunately gets locked in multiple places come robot mode. Dirge's head is made of multiple pieces that transform, something very rare to see. Overall, this transformation is pretty clever, economizing Dirge's mass well. While he does end up with some kibble in robot mode, nothing feels wasted per se, and it feels like effort was made to keep both modes as clean as reasonably possible. Everything comes from somewhere meaningful, and almost everything has somewhere meaningful to go. Compare that to many other jetformers who suffice it to place limbs squarely underneath the airframe instead of integrating them whatsoever. Dirge isn't perfect in this regard, but he comes closer than most. Robot mode is appropriately strange for a movieverse design, but takes advantage of his lack of on-screen appearance by simply running the original Generation 1 design through a light Bayhem filter. Putting him side by side against a reissue of his original toy, Dirge is clearly recognizable as the lovable Conehead from all those years ago, but now slightly alienized and greebled. For all their differences, the silhouettes at least resemble each other. Dirge's wings still end up on his legs, he still retains a cone-headed visage, and he also gains some faux intakes on his shoulders and a faux cockpit on his chest to increase his resemblance to the original design. This ethos is what I imagine many older fans wished the live-action movies to move towards, but alas. Dirge's color scheme is a bit more varied in this mode, featuring a black torso and pops of both true yellow and a muted red, with extra silver revealed on his chest and face. In theory, this would make his palette a little busy, but the color blocking keeps it sufficiently balanced, such as how the yellow is concentrated more towards the center of his body, with gold being present on his extremities. Speaking of extremities, you may have noticed his arms are a tad asymmetrical, his right arm made up of the jet's nose, and his left arm made of the leftovers. There's definitely shades of leader-class Megatron in here, but maybe not so nearly lopsided. It's a unique solution, that's for sure, and while Dirge's left arm is left a bit decrepit, he makes up for it by turning the jet's top side into a sick-ass built-in shield. Dirge's hands are ill-suited to wield his included spring-loaded missile launchers, but fret not, as he does feature 5mm ports on each bicep. In a twist of fate I can't help but find a bit more than coincidental, if you insert the missiles 90 degrees from their normal position, the fin slots right into his open hand, as if he's truly gripping it, at least in his left hand. If that doesn't suit your fancy, they're able to be stored on his wings in their vehicle mode positions. In robot mode, the differences between the three cone heads is more stark than ever. Ramjet takes the role of the muscle, hulking above the other two like a great creatine creature, while Thrust, looks like a sniveling rat. Dirge, somehow, is the most normal of the trio, even if he does spend all his downtime gooning to Alice or whatever. Dirge features 23 points of articulation, which sounds like a lot, but I've often found him limited in one way or another. He technically has a waist swivel, more accurately an upper torso swivel, but it is locked by both the backpack and the faux cockpit window on his chest. If it were just the backpack getting in the way, I would call it usable, but the protruding cockpit only ceases to be an issue in the most vanishingly rare of circumstances that I can't say that it's worth it. The arms are further limited by the lack of wrist swivels, as they're stuck in a permanent curling position. Really, I can't see how one would have been implemented on his right hand, so in that case I would have rather they just sculpted the wrist 90 degrees counterclockwise. Revenge of the Fallen toys had a gimmick called Mechalive, whereby moving the toy's joints in a specific way causes parts to spin to recreate the hyper-detailed look of the on-screen character designs. Dirge's gimmick is activated by raising either of his shoulders, which spins one of two turbines placed prominently on his chest. Dirge's wings get in the way of his knees in their prescribed positions, but they have enough joints to free up an impressive double hinge. His ankles are more articulated than most figures even now, featuring not just a sideways tilt, but also a swivel and a backwards pivot. While he has some limitations, Dirge is still a highly posable figure, though it must be said that most Revenge of the Fallen era toys were in the same ballpark just due to their complex transformations. In this day and age of unabashed slavishness to glories long past, Revenge of the Fallen Dirge is something of a hidden gem. He's a brand new mold released towards the tail end of a line during the zenith of Transformers' cultural power, and tasked with both resembling his original namesake while fitting in seamlessly with freaks like RC and Mixmaster. I'm happy to say that he achieves this well, and is on top of that a very fun toy. It truly is astonishing how this mold only got one other use, not counting convention exclusives, as this mold is full of style and is truly unique. And it was meant for Dirge of all characters. This toy is simply lovely.
Simply lovely, huh?
And that's a wrap on Dirge. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button down below, and leave a like and comment for good measure. If you want to keep up with my latest goings-on, then feel free to join the Crew of Kit Discord server, linked in the description. When we return, we're looking at something you might be able to find on your store shelves now. Isn't that novel? This has been Katastrophe. Transform and roll out.